video. Check, 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 yeah, check, 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 yeah, yeah, check, 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 yeah, check, 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 check. Yeah. Well, once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Pump Radio. It's your host with the most, man. It's your boy G Cole, and I am doing an interview today with Poke A Hoe. Give it up for Poke A Hoe, man. Appreciate you being here, man. And go ahead and introduce yourself, man, and let us know a little bit about your background, man.
Yeah, Poke A Hoe. My real name's Anthony, just so you guys know. But yeah, so I basically made this project about 8 months ago. Before this, I worked on Amazon. Basically, me and my partner JT, we just took regular products that customers had problems with, redesigned them, rebranded them, repackaged them, and sold them. So that was our whole gig for years. I've got an MBA from Purdue. I've had created many companies back in the day, including comic book shops, collectible shops, as well as did startups for internet sales companies.
Nice, man. Nice. Just for everybody tuning in as well, I am your host with the most, it's your boy G Cole, but my real name is also Anthony as well, Pogo Ho. So we both got something in common. So that's awesome. But the first question I got for you, man, is what inspired the creation of Poke A Hoe condoms? Like, was it the health and safety angle, or was it the meme Pokemon inspired branding, or the mix of both? What was the creation behind it?
It was a little bit of both, to be honest with you. And at first when I made this, I got tired of the way that things were being done with just all projects. So I created a meme with the intention of, doing it right or doing the best I could to do it right. A couple months into it, I realized, like the metas fade, right? Like the hype coins fade, all of this stuff fades. So you got to have something that kind of like outlasts that. And actually, in the collaboration with another project, they suggested I should make condoms, and it just so happened, I've lived in, Germany before. I have a lot of people that I know in Germany, as well as people in Hawaii, that have family in Germany. So we made that connect with one of the condom companies there, and it just all came to pass.
Nice, man. Nice. And how did you come up with the name Poco Ho and the concept of the condom that literally like alerts you for using the like the alerts you for the issues that comes with it.
Yeah, so Poke A Hoe, it's I use the poke part of it because Pokemon, 9 months ago in September, Pokemon was hot. There was Charizard coins, there was every coin that you could possibly think of. And then the main aspect was the other aspect was the hose, and so that aspect was just going to be about like try to poke them all, people trying to poke them all. So that was kind of like the original the meme aspect, but I think that a lot has to do with how we're trying to brand this as well. That's going to get the recognition from people.
Hmm.
If you look at the packaging and you look at the name, it has that catchy and it kind of has that like eye contact. So in the back of their head, it's already that people who are Pokemon fans or really haven't even seen Pokemon are going to be like, take that second glance at it. So that's the whole point behind it is that something that stands out. So like when people think of that name, it's like, oh, that's the STD condom.
Yeah, man, it definitely stands out. Especially the word Pokey. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows Pokemon, so Pokey is definitely, and then the way you have it branded, the way it looks. Yeah, I mean, it definitely sticks out for sure. Um, what's the whole story behind the blending the sexual wellness tech with the meme coin NFT culture? Like, was it always a plan, or did you just kind of come up with it?
No, so it wasn't always a plan. Coming up with something, if I was to continue doing this, coming up with something that was just more than a coin, it was the plan. That was
Hmm.
always the plan.
Hmm.
But as far as like the sexual awareness aspect, that just kind of came along with the product. So for me, like I'm a little bit older, like a lot of people in this or some of these people in this room are as well. Like when we were younger, we were taught about sex. Like
Hmm.
we were taught about condoms and protection and how to even in some schools, including mine, like how to put one on, like those kind of aspects. It's not around anymore. I have, kids that are teenagers, and I even asked them about this when I started this. I was like, what kind of education has the school provided you in this? And they're like 1 3 hour instruction block. And that's not acceptable. And then if you
No.
just look at stats too, like the stats from like 20 years ago, the condom usage rate was closer to 60%. Now it's closer to 50%, even 49%. So there's a problem with that. I do think that when you're bringing a brand or a product like this, you have to have some kind of like education with it.
Yeah, definitely. Because yeah, you know what, you're right. Because I have a 14-year-old. They don't talk about any of that kind of stuff in school anymore. I learned that like in like the seventh, eighth grade or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of wild to know that they're not teaching that like how they used to. So that's definitely interesting for sure. Um, can you go ahead and like walk us through on how like the STD detection technology actually works? Like what the STIs and STD does it detect? Like how reliable is the color change reaction, and what kind of testing has been done for this kind of product? Oh shit.
No, I'm here. I got a phone call. No.
Okay.
Okay, good. We're
Okay.
good. We're good. We're good.
All
Can you
right.
repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Holy
You're
crap, I
good.
thought I was gonna disconnect.
I thought I rugged for a second. Okay, okay. We'll go back to the question again. But the question was, can you walk us through on how the STD detection technology works? Like what STI or STDs does it detect, and how reliable is the color change reaction, and what kind of testing has been done with your product?
Yeah, so the tech behind it, or the IP behind it, is actually quite simple. So, and everything, there's like everything is comprised of DNA, and along with that, everything is also comprised of RNA. So our product is very simple. The same lubricant that you would normally see on, like, when you open a condom package, is also in there with this tester as well. So all it's looking for is those 5 strands of RNA. So there'll be no lighting up, there'll be like no chemical reaction. There won't be anything unless it tests for like those five STDs. So the ones that we test for are chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HPV, which they actually just came out with the cure. So we're gonna have to change our testing formula, and herpes. So those are the five that we test for.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that was definitely a big one because a lot of people do ask you that question. So that was definitely one of the main questions that I had to ask you on that one as well. And what makes Poke A Hoe condoms like truly first in this market of this space? Like, is there any other similar products out there besides yours, or is yours like the only one?
So in the terms of, us trying to, sell this as well, not only on the retail market, but like on the crypto side, because we will allow USDC, Solana, all those payment methods. We're really just trying to like reach like a broader audience, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like, I'm trying to figure out how to put it. So sorry, you stopped me for a second. This
You're
doesn't
good.
happen very often.
No, you're good.
Can you repeat one more time? I apologize.
Yeah, yeah, you're good, man. Like I was saying, what makes Poke A Hoe condoms truly the first in its market, like for the space? Like, are you the only one, or is there any other ones that are like yours, or how does that work?
Yeah, so in as far as in this space, we are the only brand in crypto, as far as, Grok can tell, any kind of chat GBT, any of that stuff. And as far as on Solana, I definitely know. As far as the product is concerned, as far as like the STD condoms itself,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I'm aware, we are the only one. So we have what's called like a single line distribution deal with this company. So we are the only people that we can package it and sell it until that term period ends. I do know right now there's 2 other companies. There's one in France, and I'm not sure where the other company is, that are kind of trying to test and do the same thing to rush to market. But in terms of being first on market, we are ahead of them already, and we already have the testing done. And you did ask in like earlier, like, how do we test these? So it's actually a process called dipping. So every single Monday until the product is shipped out is in part of our contract. They batch 100 condoms randomly. Out of those 100 condoms, 34 are pulled, and they dip it in the solution to activate the condoms. We can't package and ship unless every single week that tests 100%. Now,
Mm.
initially, we weren't testing 100%. They went back and did some changes, but for the last, I think, 3 weeks now, we've tested 100%. So we're good to go on that aspect.
Nice, man. Actually, that goes into my next question as well. Like beyond that detection, what other features or innovations are in the condoms, like materials, comfort, or extra protection? Like what kind of material goes with that?
It's the same type of materials as a standard condom, so we're using the thickness and the diameter of the EU model because that's where it's being manufactured at. The EU model is a little bit thicker, just very, very a little bit thick, or very, very. It's a little bit thicker than the average American ones that we'll see with like Trojan or Durex or something like that. But as far as like any other changes that needed to be made to make the tech work or anything else, there's nothing that was needed to be added.
Oh, okay, okay. And on the current status of the manufacturing, are there are they being shipped yet? Or are they still in pre-production?
No, so essentially, we are in the final stages of this, and that is, packaging up. And I have not given the go ahead for that for one specific reason, and that's logistics. This whole situation right now, that's with Iran and with everything else, we've seen a 20 to 30% spike at sometimes in oil cost in the last 2 months. And in terms of like the longevity of the company and the longevity of the product, I have to make sure that when I'm ordering and I start this production, that like the ROI makes sense. Because if not, we'll spend too much on logistics and shipping, and then we won't have enough for the second batch for the continuation of the product. So that's been something that we've really, really been like I've been really concerned on and watching it every day.
Hmm.
I have my mark where when oil gets back to a certain level, that I'm going to give them the okay to start packaging and shipping it out. But until then, we're kind of just waiting because just longevity. We can't rush this.
Exactly, exactly. Especially with something like this, you definitely can't rush it. You know what I mean? It's got to be safe. It's got to be reliable. It's got to be right. You know what I mean? So, I definitely understand you keeping an extra eye on it for sure. I also been seeing, man, that you've been very active on X, man, like with the community and stuff. And I just got to ask you, like, what role do your NFTs and the meme aspect play in building a sustainable project?
Yeah, of course. So when I started this, I wanted to do it right. So I never gave any supply to any KOLs. I never did any of the normal routes that traditional people would take to try and grow the project. So it took 4 months to just to bond it. And I'm wasn't ashamed of that. That's all community. That's nothing, or that's nothing extra. Just that. So my role is a little bit of everything. And we just released our NFTs. Um, how do you say this politely? The funds that are I'll say that.
Say it one more
I
time,
had
Poco. You rugged out a little bit.
oh, sorry. I said the funds that are like when people have NFTs a lot of times with projects, the funds that go from the NFTs a lot of times don't go back into continuation and development of the project. It's
Okay.
kind of like of course they gain liquidity or whatever. They get money for continuations of things. I just don't see that going in a lot of times. So I kind of we're doing is building towards this brand getting out worldwide. So for the NFTs, I took 90% of the mint funds and I put it right back in the project. And there's not a lot of people do that. So we minted out the first 100. It was about $1,300 for the mint. I took 650 and I bought into the chart, and I put another 650 into liquidity and permanently locked it. And I plan on doing the 8 more times until we mint out. And that's all towards just building out the brand. I do keep 10% of it because I do, have people help me and stuff that I pay every now and then. As far as keeping anything more of that, I don't really. I think that the NFTs need to work and coincide with the actual brand. So this is the best way I believe in.
Nice, man. Nice. Uh, Also as well, man. How has the community reacted? You know, when you be talking about your product, is there like any standout stories or feedback from holders or early supporters when they first gotten into your project?
Recently, last I would say the last couple of months, I think people are finally starting to see, that we've been here for 7 months. We're not going anywhere. I got a story last night. A guy came to this space. He's like, "I'm 3x up. You sent it to everybody on, and I haven't sold," and those kinds of things. So it's really good to hear those things. We're all here to either try and build something or to try to make something better for ourselves. A lot of times that means, like making money. And,
Hmm.
I have no problem if people get in my chart and they want to take your profits, responsibility, the continuation, whatever they're trying to build, that's understandable. But to hear those kind of things and just to finally like have people coming up and being like, I didn't even know you were my project. And they're like, yeah, I've been in since 10K. And I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. Like,
That's
that's
good.
awesome. Good for you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's good. You got some supporters that have been holding, man. But I don't blame you as well. You know what I mean? And I always tell people keep your initials in, just take your profits. You know what I mean? You'll never lose your spot, and the project will always stay strong. So that's awesome that they do that. And also, the next question that I got to ask for you is, what's like the biggest challenge that you face doing all this? Like is it the manufacturing, or is it the gaining the community, or like what's your biggest challenge right now?
Logistics is playing a big part of it. I'm not gonna try to act like it's not. It's a real big headache, especially when a lot of times I plan stuff for these companies we have an agreement and then they come back and like, well, you're not worth our effort, basically. Like it's too small of a load, or because the product essentially has to go from Ulm, Germany to Hamburg before it can be shipped out. So we need somebody to transfer it there. So it's that's the logistics has been the biggest issue, and I would say the market has been a little bit of an issue. We've been kind of fighting it the whole time. We launched this in September when Solana was like 250 or something. So, we've been fighting the market for like 8 months now or something like that. So it's
Hmm.
been a little bit difficult, but when you got the community and you actually have something just besides like a meme or a funny thing or something like that, you haven't actually have a brand and a product. I think that's why we're still around.
Nice, man. Nice. And what's next for Poke A Hoe, man? Like a Shopify store, or expansions, or new products, bigger partnership? What do you got coming next for Poke A Hoe?
Yeah, so our singular immediate focus is, just getting this product in hand so that we can market it. We've had a lot of marketing planned for a long time now. We've had kick streamers waiting on us to sign deals to place the product in the back of their streams, and just stuff like that. So I really think that the next step after that, though, after we get that initial batch, is once we get about 30 to 36% sold out, we start working on the second one, and this one's going to be larger. Like we got to scale this up, and not the same size. So I was initially thinking, 2.5 to 3x what our initial order was going to be, and then that would allow that scaling and get us into more retail locations as well. So I've been working on retail, here in Hawaii. I've got 3 or 4 places lined up, smaller shops that I'll take a little bit of a cut for selling the product. And I've also been talking to a couple different states ministry, or not ministry, sorry, Department of Health,
Hmm.
and trying to get in with them, figuring out what the process would be, if they could possibly order our condoms for the city or whatever the case is, just finding out all that info as well.
Nice, man. That's really good, man. That's really good. That's pretty big, man. So yeah, hopefully that works out for you, and I'm rooting for you, man, on that one. And I gotta I gotta ask you this one. I came up with this one, and I wonder if you have an answer for this one. But if Poco had a Pokemon style evolution, what would be the final form? What would it look like? What would it be look like? Since this is all, like a Pokemon type theme, what kind of evolution would Poco be?
Giga slut? I don't know.
There you go. There
I
you
don't
go, dude.
know.
I had to ask it, dude. I had to ask it. I was
Nah, you're
like, I
good.
don't think no
Ask the
one.
hard questions, man. Come on. It's cool. I don't mind.
I figured nobody's asked you that question, so I got to ask you that question. So, um, what's one of the most wild or unexpected things that happened since you launched this project? Like, was there any like some wild stuff that happened, or any curves? Anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was probably what, a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I got a call from the manufacturer and they were like, there's an issue. We are going to need to speak with you as soon as possible. So I tried to call, but I'm 13 hours behind them. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to get in touch with these people sometimes is just super, super hard. So finally, I talked to somebody else and they're like, yeah, they're like, well, the packaging thing that you sent in wasn't in the right template, so they're not going to be able to do it. And I was like, say what? So I literally, and you can ask a lot of the community too, I literally hopped on a plane, flew to Germany from Hawaii, got the stuff straight in about 30 hours, hopped on another plane before that whole airport thing started with TSA. I got out the day before that and then made it back here before that Monday for work. So
Nice, man. Nice. And that's great. That's pretty crazy. Um, for someone that's new to your project, dude, what's the best way to get involved and stay protected with the Poke A Hoe community?
yeah, so we got a bunch of different avenues, just like everybody else. We have of course, the Telegram. That's where a lot of the info goes out. We have that X group. I share all the posts usually just in the X group so people can see and stuff like that. And personally, like anybody that's ever reached out to me that is a holder in this community or has this concern that's not messaging me and being like, "I'll market for you, give me money," I'm gonna have a talk with you if you have a problem. So, most people that's what they do in the community that know me. They'll just reach out to me personally and ask their question, and then I'll get that answered. Because a lot of times you can't toggle all these X, Telegram, all these things at
Mm-hmm.
the same time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And do you have a message for any people out there that are skeptical about your project, that are kind of on the doubts of your project? Do you have a message for them?
Yeah, have a conversation with me, I'm more than willing to pretty much talk to anybody. If you have any, like I said, you have any questions or you have any doubts or you just want to know anything, you're more than willing to reach out. I don't shy away from questions. I'm spaces all the time too, so you can pretty much catch me anywhere.
Nice, man. Nice. And yeah, the last thing I got to ask you, man, is, just go ahead and let everybody know who you are again, where they could find you, and how they could stay connected with you in many ways, man. And if you have any other messages out there, let everybody know. And yeah, man, that's it.
Yeah, you can connect with me, like I said, on the Poke A Hoe account. My main account is McChillin or McBallin. About one of my larger accounts, like 7K followers. So you can message me there. Telegram, X, any of those people, any of the people you see me with, if you're trying to get a hold of me, they can probably help you too. So it's I'm definitely available to anybody, asking questions. And I guess my general message is, don't be a fool, wrap your tool.
That's it. Don't be a fool and rap your tool, man. But I definitely appreciate you doing the interview with me, man. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody tuning in as well. And yeah, man, that's the interview with Pogo Ho, man. And like I said, I just wanted to ask you these questions, but I do want to leave it up to the viewers down here to go ahead and ask you some more questions. I just wanted to give you
Of course.
the quick basics and stuff, but yeah, man, give it up for Pogo Ho, man. Give it up for Pogo Ho.
Check, 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 yeah, check, 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 yeah, yeah, check, 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 check.